For the first time, New York City's Rent Guidelines Board could vote for no rent increases on stabilized apartments. And while tenants are thrilled about a freeze, landlords say it leaves them cold. CBS 2's Jessica Schneider is live in the East Village where the vote is being held. Jessica?
Well, Christine, it is a rent showdown that is pitting landlords against Mayor Bill de Blasio, and the stage is already being set right here in the East Village. You can see behind me tenants who are rallying for a rent freeze. This all in advance of the Rent Guidelines Board meeting at 6 o'clock tonight, but landlords are still fighting tonight, saying they can't survive a year of no rent increase. It is a contentious issue that has already fired up the city's 1 million residents who live in rent-stabilized apartments and prompted a backlash from landlords. Now Mayor Bill de Blasio is speaking out, saying that when the Rent Guidelines Board votes at 6 o'clock tonight, it should be for a 0% increase in rents for rent-stabilized apartments.
Tenants have been asked to pay too much in recent years. For that reason, I'm encouraging all the members of the Rent Guidelines Board to vote for a freeze.
The board has already voted for a rent hike somewhere between 0% and 3%. If there's no increase at all, it will be the first time since the board was formed in 1969.
When you look at the numbers and you look at a 0% rent increase, it doesn't make sense.
Jimmy Silber owns a building with 100 units in Greenwich Village. It's been in his family for nearly 100 years. He says costs for him and other landlords keep going up, and with no additional rent, many might not be able to survive and could be forced to sell.
If you just look at taxes alone, forget labor, forget fuel, forget repairs and maintenance, just look at taxes. Owners had to spend 2.8% more this year to pay the city in real estate taxes. Okay? How does a zero increase help an owner, help a small owner? It doesn't.
But plenty of tenants argue a freeze on rents would help them counter flat wages and rent spikes in years past.
We need a course correction. A one-time action to clearly rectify the mistakes of the past.
My message would be keep out of the Rent Guidelines Board process and don't make it a political process.
And landlords caution that tonight's vote doesn't just affect rent-stabilized tenants. They tell me that if they're not allowed to increase the rent on those tenants, they'll be forced to raise the rent on the people living in free market housing. And again, that vote happens tonight at 6 p.m. We're live in the East Village. Jessica Schneider, CBS 2 News.
All right, Jessica, thanks.